Hey, I'm Jennifer Hurwitz, best-selling author of the books One Happy Divorce and Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda. I'm a relationship coach, a public speaker, and I'm the mom of two of the most kick-ass teenage boys around. Raw, authentic, and insightful, this podcast is a no-bullshit slice of reality for anyone curious about what it looks like to get divorced. On Doing Divorce Right, we'll give you the tools you'll need to navigate your relationships, whether you're contemplating divorce or have already signed the papers. We'll figure it out together without taking ourselves too seriously here on Doing Divorce Right podcast. Divorce is never easy. And when children are in the picture, it can be extra tricky, especially when communicating with your ex is a challenge. Now there's an app with you and your kids in mind. It's called FAIR, F-A-Y-R. FAIR is the easiest, most intuitive, and conflict-diffusing co-parenting app on the market. FAIR helps eliminate misunderstandings while also improving communication between co-parents. In the long run, creating a loving environment for your kids. Here's a couple things I love about the FAIR app: a documentable text messaging program, an expense tracker so both parents can add and monitor expenses, track receipts, and add notes, a GPS check-in that's court verifiable to document your presence at all GPS verified locations. And there's even a Spanish version of the app as well. FAIR allows you to experience co-parenting in a totally new way, simply, inexpensively, transparently, and fairly. Lose the he said, she said, and be the best parent you can be. Be FAIR. Go to fair.com for more details. Hey, good morning. Good morning. This is Doing Divorce Right. Hi, everybody. Welcome. It's Tuesday, of course, and every Tuesday I bring you guys amazing guests and great guests and new people and exciting people. And, I think I'm pretty good at this. And I bring you guys some great people. So I've got someone in the house today, and he's awesome. And I was on his show and his partner's show a couple months ago. And I met them, and they're young and they're cool and they're way more hip than I am. So I asked Kevin to come back and to come on my show. And it's Kevin Palmieri. And I'm going to talk a little bit about him. He is the host of the Hyper Conscious podcast. Did I say that right? Mm-hmm. Hyper Conscious podcast. Yeah. He's also a speaker. He's a peak performance mindset coach. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, which we're going to talk about that too. You're going to tell everybody what you do. And he's a consultant. He does all kinds of stuff. But most importantly to me, why I have him on is because at 30 years old, he, when I was on his show, we talked about relationships and love and all this good stuff. He's one of the most mature 30-year-olds I think I've ever met. Kevin. I think you're pretty mature. I think your girlfriend's a pretty lucky girl.
I'm a lucky man too. So it goes both ways.
I love that. Hi, how are you, Kevin?
I'm so well. I appreciate you having me on. I can't wait to, a lot of the podcasts I do when I'm on other shows is pure peak performance and motivation and habits. So I'm interested to see how we go down the relationship road.
I don't know what we're going to do. We're just going to talk.
We'll find out.
It's funny. I was telling you before, I never have, I very rarely have guys on the show, but when I do, they're all about, business or divorce and mediation and lawyering and all that good stuff, which I love. But, unless we talk about relationships, it's normally my boyfriend, and we shoot the shit and we talk about whatever, but I very rarely have a guy who can give me, a little bit of a younger demographic, which I love. So when I was on your show, we talked about relationships and love, and you were very open and honest about your relationship with your girlfriend. And I think that she's a super lucky girl to have someone who's so in tune with your feelings and your emotions. And I think that maybe being a peak performance mindset coach and all that good stuff, you've done a lot of work on yourself.
I have. It's interesting too, because most of the listeners of our show are women. And I know, right? That. But when I started this journey, I was a very feminine, insecure man. Now I look
explain
masculine. That. I have tattoos. I'm a bodybuilder. I have fast cars. I like fighting, but I was super insecure. So a lot of that was an external show that I was putting on. Okay. I was very self-conscious, very insecure, I just lacked confidence. I wasn't a very confident person. Okay. And I think what that gave me was the ability to be vulnerable without fearing judgment. I've just kind of always been vulnerable, and I didn't really care. And I think that, and not to pump my tires, but what you're saying is something we've heard a lot. Women say oh, that exists. The bodybuilder with the tattoos who's super ambitious, but is also very vulnerable, very into his emotional side. And that's always something I'm trying to get across, because, I know I have a lot of younger men that listen to the show too, but I always want them to know, look, you don't have to pretend you're a badass if you're not. It's actually more badass to be real than it is anything else.
Absolutely. But I feel like it's hard. It's hard to find. You're kind of a unicorn. I really do feel that way. I do. That's why you're here, because I have a lot of clients and a lot of girlfriends who say, where is that vulnerable guy? Where is he? How do we find him? How do we mold him? How do we make him? But when you were on the show with Ellen, you guys were both like, we're talking about relations. I kept going, oh my God, in my head, like, wait a minute, these two guys, like, really, you have your like thumb on that, like you on the pulse.
Yeah.
So how do you think, I'm just going to put you on the spot. How do you think you got there? Was it your upbringing? Was it your parent? Like, what do you think?
I was raised by women. I honestly didn't meet my father, like, with recollection for the first time until I was 27. So that was 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I was raised by women. I've always been not necessarily good with women, but I've always been a good communicator with women.
Okay.
I've always been like very patient, very understanding, very good at making friends with women. I've always been good at that. That was always a thing for me. But I think for me, I went through a really bad breakup when I was 26. And I'm on top of the world. I'm making six figures. I'm in the best shape of my life. I have my girlfriend's literally a model. And it's like, oh, everything's amazing. But again, that insecure Kevin was there. So when she left me for a while, it was like, oh, she's crazy. Like, my ex was crazy. She left. She's just crazy. And I started looking in the mirror thinking, like, I've had 5 or 6 failed relationships, and I am at least 50% of every one of those relationships.
Wow. Okay.
And it was me starting to look in the mirror. And the other thing too, Jennifer, is my goal isn't just to be the best podcaster or the best speaker. Like, I want to be the best man. And that
my listeners are all going, where is this guy? Is he saying, like, that's what I was saying when I was on your show? Like,
this is the thing. Right. That's because of my goals. I want to be change the world. I have to, if you want to be the best real estate agent, if you want to be the best ping pong player, if you want to be the best fitness model, that's a big difference between being the best man, being the best father, husband, influence, leader, team leader. Like, I just think I'm playing for different things than a lot of people. And I have extremely high standards for myself. Like, if I hurt Taryn, my wonderful girlfriend, if I misspeak, that literally, like, I'm getting emotional talking about it. It crushes me because I have such high standards for myself. I promised her I would be the best to her, and I have to. It's like a thing. I have to.
I'm like I'm watching. We're on video. Maybe I'll post it. Maybe I'll put this on YouTube because it's a really good one. But like, I'm just listening to this, and I can remember when I was 30, I was married, clearly. Well, not clearly, but I was married for 13 years. But even my husband, at the time, we spoke about this in your show, but I didn't get that from him, and I want my boys, I have 2 boys, maybe they'll listen to this, but I want them to learn how to get in. So when you're saying it's all encompassing, right? So like, it's just the person, maybe it's your grit, right? David Meltzer talks about that too. Mm-hmm. But, having grit all encompassing, right? And I tell people it's not about being, finding the best partner. It's about being the best partner, right? And I feel like a lot of us want to do that, but we don't put our money where our mouth is, but I feel like you really do. So do you also, as a coach, do you coach that way as well?
So it's hard.
Putting you on the spot, I feel.
No, you're good. It's when I'm coaching people, I'm digging into their limiting beliefs.
Okay.
So like, and I've done that myself. I have a ton. I'm short. I'm 5'5". I could never get a beautiful girlfriend. That's something I lived with. I could never.
You did a model, right?
I know. Right. But again, for me, it was luck. Like that's the thing. I was really good at baseball. I felt lucky when I got a hit. It was like luck, and I lived my life thinking I was very lucky, and I never built belief because of that. But with my clients, it's like I want them to realize that they're telling themselves a story. We all are. Every single one of us, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you're telling yourself some story. And your story is not 100% correct. It couldn't be. Because as you increase your level of awareness, and then you increase your level of reflection, you increase your level of knowledge. When you reflect with new awareness, you learn more.
Right.
I'm
trying to process that in my brain this morning.
So with my clients, it's basically just pulling back the curtain on like the lies that you're telling yourself and how they're manifesting in your life. And then one of the other things I do, I work a lot with early entrepreneurs, because if you're a solopreneur and you lack confidence, your business lacks confidence. It doesn't work like if you're not confident, you're not just going to strap on your business boots and be like, all right, I can change the world. It takes time. So for me, it's building up belief with most people.
Wow. Yeah. So, I mean, I remember like talking to you guys and we were just everything. I feel like everything that came out of your mouth was authentic and real as well. So I think that there are people out there that like can say all this, but then they don't show up, right? Actions versus words. And, I think that's amazing. I think what you do is really, so you also not only are you, so when you say a peak performance mindset coach, what exactly is that? Do you mind if we go there?
Yeah, no, it's my goal is to create a system. So many people are not happy with their lives.
Yeah.
And it really bothers me because I used to be that way. Mm-hmm. Maybe bothers isn't the right word. I empathize heavily with it. It's my goal to figure out what my clients actually want out of life.
Right.
If you work a 9 to 5 and you don't want a 9 to 5, it's almost like a running joke. If you work with me, you will quit your job eventually. It just happens because I know you're not as happy as you could be.
Right.
And you usually just need somebody to tell you that and then help you figure out what is possible for you. So peak performance means I want to help you make more money. I want to help you in your relationship. I want to help you with your body. My goal is to make you the best version of yourself, whatever that means to you. And that's always my goal with people.
Maybe I need to hire you. I feel like I'm like this person. I have like all this stuff going on and I can't just focus.
Yeah,
do you help with that?
Of course.
And also you're a podcast host, you're a host and you're a coach, a podcast coach.
I do a lot of things.
Oh my God, you're like me. I feel like I have my hand in like all these different, but that's awesome.
Well, we're going to do next week, I don't know when this is dropping, but we're going to cross 400 episodes. I don't know many people that have that many episodes consistently. And I realize like my life has changed so much because I talk into this microphone.
I know, right? I feel that way too.
Right. And it's like so many people have a story. Imagine if you had the confidence or the knowledge to sit down in front of the microphone. Most people just don't have the knowledge. I can teach you how to do all this stuff. Yeah. I learned from the ground up. So when I see a need somewhere in the market, I want to help fill it. And with podcasting, it's changed my life more than anything. So I want to help other people experience what I have.
I love that. And you did, actually, I was stalking you a little and I saw this thing that you did, like prepping for guests.
Yes.
Right. Like getting ready to like say have a guest on. I'm like, oh my God, this is I need to prep more. Like I always feel like I'm so prepared for my guests. And then I watched that little video you did on prepping for guests. And I'm like, Jennifer, you got to up your game, like you've been doing this 2 years, you're not prepping enough. I'm like, it's just funny how you can always learn more.
Of course.
And teach yourself more.
As long as you're looking. That's the thing too. And that's something I'd love to talk about relationships. I don't think people become vulnerable overnight.
I agree.
One of the reasons I'm vulnerable is because I have a system in my relationship. Yeah.
I'd love to hear it. Are you willing to share that?
Of course. Taryn said this yesterday. She said, I can't believe that when we first started, we didn't have a system. We were just kind of like winging it. So every night before we go to bed, we ask each other, but I usually ask it first. Did you feel loved? Did you feel listened to? Did you feel supported? Did you feel appreciated? And did you feel romanced? And then what do you need from me? Every night.
You understand, like, this is like, okay, my listeners are dying right now. Please start over. Okay, you ask what?
Did you feel loved?
Okay.
Did you feel listened to?
Okay.
Did you feel appreciated? Did you feel supported? And did you feel romanced? And then every night. Yes.
I might cry. I might cry.
Well, that's okay. That's all right.
Oh my God, this is
I cry all the time. Oh my
gosh, I can't even. Okay, my boyfriend is in big trouble. He's in big. He's like this. And
if you came to me and said, Kevin, I want to lose 15 pounds.
Okay.
All right, Jennifer, let's start tracking your calories. How much water are you drinking? You got to weigh yourself. You got to exercise.
Sure.
Everything else has systems, right?
Yeah, systems.
And when it comes to feelings, I think people forget that. And love does not conquer all. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way.
No, God, no.
The problem is you've never seen Cinderella where they're checking off, did we do our check-in tonight? So I think that is the thing. Like, it's not me. It's the systems I have in place. And the reason the systems are there is so we make sure that we're doing the most important things.
Okay. So what if you go through this list and this is where my boyfriend and I would have our meltdown right here. I'm going to tell you this would be it for me. I'd be like, do you feel appreciated? I'd be like, hell no, I don't. Okay. Like, what if she says, no, today I didn't?
I do better.
Of course you do, because that's mature you. You're 30 years old. You're the more, but he would be like, what do you mean? Like,
maybe the first time. Maybe the first, of course, the first time. Yeah. Right. We did an episode recently where we were talking about this and the guest literally said, oh, I should really start doing that. Yeah. And I said, why don't you? And he's like, feedback. And then he promised us he was going to start doing it.
I'm going to do it. I'm promising you.
It sucks. The first couple times.
Yeah, I'm scared.
You should. That's fine. That's fine. Alan and I hosted an event last year.
Okay.
I sat, and we also have another check-in that we do weekly where we sit down and we go over the 5 love languages.
Of course I love them.
And then we go over the 6 basic human needs.
I've loved them both, yeah.
So we go over those and we rate each other on a scale of 1 to 10.
You and Alan, your co-host.
No, me and Taryn.
Oh, I thought you meant you and Alan. I'm like, you have love languages, the two of you? I'm like, this is fabulous.
No, Taryn and myself.
Okay, great.
And one day when we were hosting this event, it was the day after our event ended. And I got like 3s across the board. Love and Connection was like a 3. I cried.
Out of what?
10. Brutal.
Wait, she gave you 3s?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we need to have her on the show. I wrote her today. We had a little back and forth on Facebook.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, you need to come on the show.
I
So
love
she's
it.
like, okay, I love her. Okay, so we need to bring her back so we can do this in person. I'm just feeling like this is too good for me. Okay, you had 3s.
Yes.
And you were not happy. I would not be happy.
I was crying. I was crying.
Oh, I would have lost my mind if I had a 3.
But it's this, and it's one of those things where I call it, I say the pinball analogy.
Okay.
I could very easily say, you have no idea what I'm going through. You don't know what I'm doing. And I have said that in the past, of course. I've made that mistake. But I say the pinball analogy because you have to let it bounce around. Don't say the first thing that comes up. Let it bounce around and see where it lands, because it's going to knock off some of the dust that shouldn't be there in the first place.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
But it just takes practice. The first check-in was not good, probably. It was probably brutal.
What gives you a place to work up to? You get room to move, to grow into.
Right. Yeah. And that's why I say, like, if you are a woman listening to this, we'll just say man, if that's what it is.
Sure.
If you're dating a man, they most likely won't be vulnerable because you tell them to. They have it ingrained in them because of toxic masculinity that you're not allowed to cry. You're not allowed to talk about your feelings. If you fall down, wipe it off, put some dirt on it, and you're fine.
Right.
And you have to link up in their mind. So I'll just say this. When Taryn and I are more loved and connected, the intimacy is better.
Well, hell, of course, yes.
Tell your man that.
I mean, hello, you know how I feel about this. You know my take, right? I mean, and also vice versa.
Right.
When you're more intimate, everything else goes together,
Exactly.
right? It's like, right. I know. I love this. This is my favorite. So exactly. But I love that. I love that you guys do that. We're going to start that. This may not go well. I might have to check in with you again.
It might not at first. It might. That's okay though.
We've been together 3 years, and relationships are not easy.
Right.
They're not. Everyone says to me, "Oh, they should be easy." No, they're work. We know. Okay, but I love that. So you do this every night. You do, and wait, when did you the love? What is your love language? Have you decided?
Love language
fluctuate.
It's usually quality time and then physical touch.
Oh,
my top 2. I don't care about gifts almost at all. Acts of service are nice. Okay. Words of affirmation are nice, but like I have so much fulfillment from the podcast and my clients that like quality time for me, she's my like home. She's my warm spot because I work like really hard. When I'm with her, I don't. I shut off. So quality time and physical touch are kind of my 2.
Awesome. Do you guys actually turn off your phones and stuff when you're together?
Not as much as we should.
I know us either.
Not as much.
I know. I have to admit that. I always feel like I'm always connected to something, and I feel really bad. I feel giving you my guilt here. I'm throwing my guilt out there. I'm like,
on Sundays I do. Like on Sundays, my phone is I don't even have it on me. It's in the other room.
Oh, that's really great.
Yeah,
I'm going to do that.
I could do it. I could do better for sure.
Yeah, I think we all could do a little bit better.
Yeah.
It's been hard. This whole, I hate to even talk about the quarantine because it's been tough for everybody.
Of course.
The whole thing. I'm sure your clients have been all over the place. It's just been.
I moved in with Taryn during quarantine.
That was smart. But that was actually smart.
It was, but I think a lot of people are spending either way more time. They're spending way more time with themselves, which internal reflection is brutal if you've never done it.
Yeah.
They're spending more time with a significant other, not by choice.
Right.
By default, which it's the same. I chose, like, if I'm going to be quarantined, I want to be quarantined with you. Let's do this.
Yes, that was smart.
Yeah, and it's been amazing. But for us, it's like, if we can survive that, like we literally, I saw her every single day, all day for like 2.5 months.
Yeah, that's us.
I couldn't leave the house, right? So
you're like,
if you can make it through that,
you can do anything. Right? Yeah, there you go. So yeah, that is interesting. So is she as positive as you are?
Yeah.
You both are super positive. Yeah.
If one of us is down, the other person leads.
I mean, this could not. My people are going. Oh, yeah, this is just like perfection right here, right? I mean, and it's funny because as a divorce coach or whatever, whatever, I don't even know what I am these days, whatever I do, this is like the best to hear a guy's perspective on vulnerability and, how to create it and how to sustain it. It's really good for us to hear because, we don't believe it. A lot of my people, it's hard for us. It's hard for us, to believe that we can actually find love again or do this again or do divorce right. And we come from a place where we just, it's hard.
Well, think of this, and you're not alone because the guys who are vulnerable and are emotional are waiting for the woman who is open and receptive to that.
Right.
They might.
Right? Yeah, that's a great point. Because
so you guys aren't alone.
Yeah.
By any stretch of the imagination.
You're right. And a lot of women coming out of a divorce are bitter and angry and hurt, and they're just shut down. And not only divorce, relationship wise, right? You come out of a bad relationship, you're not going to be vulnerable again. You're not willing to open up again. Yeah. But you have to. I feel like you have to give it a shot, right?
And I think you need to take time. That's the other thing. Like one question I get often is how do you, I have this idea of what I want in a partner. How do I attract that? You become something strong enough to attract that. Like that's why spending time after a breakup is so important because you reflect.
Oh my God, right.
Right?
And I was stupid. I went right back into it.
Same. I used to do that. I used to literally have a girl lined up for the time I got out of another one.
Me too. Yeah. I was like, I used to tell people the best way to get over someone is to get under someone else.
Right.
No, that's not right. No.
It's the opposite. It's the opposite. But again, it's hard to believe. Like, what am I supposed to do? Just be single and exist? Kind of.
Yeah. Kind of get to know yourself, right? I was like, oh no, I'm no fun. Let's find this again. Yeah. I love this. Oh my gosh. I just think that I couldn't believe, I know I keep saying this, but I couldn't believe your emotional maturity as a 30-year-old. And I don't mean to put down other 30-year-olds. I'm sure they're all out there, but it was just, I couldn't wrap my brain around. I was expecting, and this is like expectations. And it's just so funny how I was expecting y'all to be just fun and whatever. And oh, Jen, you're crazy. In relationships, you should be swinging for, but you were so grounded. Which I just thought was really cool.
I've just failed a lot like that. I mean,
but you're only 30. You couldn't have failed that many times.
Yeah, but the levels I failed at, I feel like, I don't know.
Got you.
Yeah. I've moved in with every girl I've dated. After a year, failed. I've been emotionally cheated on. I've been through some interesting things with my exes in the past, and I just think for me, I don't want to be the bottleneck in my relationship. No. I want to be well-rounded. I want to be physically fit. I want to be financially free. I want to be emotionally stable. I want to be the best version of me.
That's awesome. And where did you think, what was was there a pivot for you, or was it a pivotal moment, or did you meet Alan? Did you guys connect? Did you have this, was it the podcast? Was it or you just,
a lot of it was the podcast. Yeah. We're about personal development. We're about getting better. But, and this is the interesting part of the story, I dated Taryn 4 years ago before I was hyperconscious. And I was dating, I call it a situationship, kind of, a couple years ago. And I just knew I had to get out. Okay. I didn't have to be anything special. I could just show up, and I don't want that. That's settling. That's the definition of settling. And I remember saying, I told this to Alan, I told this to my other friend, Matt, I need somebody like Taryn. I don't know how to explain it, but she gets me, and other people don't get me like she does. And then I creeped her on Facebook for a little bit. I saw that she was single. I reached out, and then we went on a date. And then that was kind of the beginning of the second go route. But for me, it was I wanted her because I knew what she was about. She's into improvement. Her main purpose in life is to learn and grow as much as she can. That's what I wanted. So, I knew it was out there because I had already dated it. I just wasn't ready at the time.
Right. So I love what hyperconscious. I love how you explain that. So explain exactly what that means, your podcast, what it entails. I listened to the opening and I thought, oh my God, that's really it's all encompassing. It's cool. It's really cool.
We say this, when you change the way you think, you change the way you act, and you change the way you live. Yeah. That is what hyperconsciousness is. It's awesome. It's a high level of awareness of why things are the way they are. I think a lot of people go through life living by accident, and we want to live as intentionally as we can. And I was saying this, I think I said this earlier in the interview. I want to help people be happy and excited for life, and not it's Monday, it's Tuesday. You shouldn't just be excited for the weekends. No. That means you're escaping your reality. And, it's our goal to teach people what it really takes to live the life that you want.
Right. So where can people find you? People can get you have something going, you're doing some 30-minute podcast.
Yes. Yeah. If you're Yes. If you're a podcaster and you're looking to grow your business, you're looking to scale it, you want to start a podcast and you haven't yet, I'm offering free 30-minute consultations, no strings attached. We hop on a Zoom call like this and I will help you as much as I can in 30 minutes. And then also you can find us at thehyperconsciouspodcast.com. We have a brand new website. Search the Hyperconscious Podcast wherever you listen to your shows, and we're also on YouTube. All of our episodes are there too.
Everywhere.
We are everywhere.
You're very easy to find, and LinkedIn everywhere.
Yes, Never Quit Kid on Instagram. That's if you DM me, I will get back to you.
Yes, but okay, so you're Never Quit Kid. You're I feel like you're everywhere.
I am a lot of places.
But to find you, the easiest is to go to your website.
Go to the website.
But I'm going to put everything in the show notes so everybody can find you.
I appreciate it.
But did we forget anything? Because I feel like we could talk like we could go for another hour. But I mean,
let me know. You let me know. I think
I just want to bring. I want to bring Taryn back. I think that we could have like a really great like.
We'll set it up.
I would love it.
We'll set it up. You'd love it.
Oh my gosh, I think you're great. I think you're awesome. Wait, did we talk about your speaking?
No.
Do you want to talk about your speaking?
Sure, I speak. My goal when I speak, I tell people this. My goal is not to inspire you or motivate you. My goal is to ask you questions that you've never asked yourself and then get you to answer the questions. I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm a speaker. I don't want to motivate you. I want to change your life. That's how I am too.
Do you want to do a TED Talk?
I would love to do a TED Talk. I want to do it on porn addiction because I used to be addicted to porn.
Okay, we have to go. Now you just open it. Hold up. This is now a different podcast, you understand? Because now you just cracked it open for me.
Sure.
Okay, so do you believe in porn addiction? You do. You really do think you can be addicted to porn?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm not sure, but I'm like stuttering right now because I don't even know how to say this, but I feel like sometimes people are like, I'm addicted to porn, but they're not really. How do you know you're addicted to porn? Because you just can't stop looking at it?
Because, number one, you can't stop. Number two, it turns into a sexual dysfunction. Number three, the sexual dysfunction is there and you still can't stop.
Okay, then.
That's what I would say.
But that would be a great TED Talk.
I want to do it because I think that and it's something I'm super passionate about. You used to have to go to the doctor to get erectile dysfunction medicine.
Yes.
Now, if you're in college, you can do it on an app.
Yeah. What is that?
It's because I guarantee the percentage of people with erectile dysfunction not only is becoming younger and younger, the numbers are going up and nobody wants to talk about it.
We have to talk about it.
For sure.
We have to.
For sure.
And absolutely, we have to talk about it. And I think, you should definitely. Have you tried to get a TED Talk? I have, yeah. I've applied to a couple. But then the COVID thing happened, and yeah, me too. My TED Talk was canceled, postponed, and now it's supposed to be in October, and they canceled it yesterday. Right. So now, I know it'll when it's time. You know what? It'll be there. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they might do it on video now and just like do it. But I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, it's fun. It was one of those things. Like, TED Talks? Yeah, you can't lose sleep over it. No, you can't. I know these days I don't lose sleep over anything. I like that. I'm too tired. Oh my God. Yeah. So porn addiction. I just feel like sometimes people are like, I'm addicted to porn. I'm like, but are you really addicted to porn? So I think you really have to know. Yeah. Well, it's the same as like, if you get caught cheating, you could say like, oh, I'm addicted. I'm a sex addict. That's my problem. Yeah. Yeah. Like, no, I'm not that way. I've never cheated in my entire life. But for me, I just know it was genuinely a problem. I know it was. Yeah. Because I like porn, but I don't think I don't, I'm not going to sit down all day and watch, like. Do you get random pulls? Like, what does that mean? Like, I still have pulls. What does a pull mean? Like a kick. Like I could literally. Oh, you mean like I want to go watch it? Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, I have to know. I get that all the time. Oh, like a cigarette. Like you want to go smoke a cigarette. Basically, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like if I could be doing anything. Just like, porn. Oh. Yeah, like, the whole thing. The whole thing. That's like me with cigarettes. Like I haven't smoked a cigarette. I quit 9 years ago. And if I'm drinking, like I have a drink in my hand, I still am like looking like, that's what it's like, right? Oh, God, it's the worst. I know it's like those addictive personalities where you're like, I could do yoga all day, but you wish it was yoga and not porn. Right. Yeah, it's another challenge. It is what it is. It's one of those things. Oh my God, I loved having you, Kevin. I appreciate it. Will you come back again? Of course I will. I love that. And we have another connection, David Meltzer. Yes. I love him. Yes. We were on his LinkedIn Live last week. He's our buddy. Oh my God. Can you get him to come on my show? Or can I go on his? I can try. He's so hard to get a hold of. We Instagram. He's very, if he heard me say busy, he would be mad at me. Productive and accessible. He's productive and accessible. That's so funny. I love. He's great. He's great. He's actually from Detroit. I didn't know he was from Detroit. Originally from my hometown. Interesting. Yes. Very, very connected, all of us people. Anyway, so we're going on and on. That's okay. We'll go. I'll let you go because you have things to do. But I loved having you. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Okay, so one more time, tell everybody where we can find you, the easiest place.
The hyperconsciouspodcast.com or Never Quit Kid on Instagram.
There we go. Thank you. Thank you. So Kevin, it was like great having you, and everybody, you know where to find me. Oh my gosh, you can find me, everywhere, but www.jenniferhurwitz.com is a place. I loved having you. I love being back. This is my favorite thing to do. It's my jam. Everybody, you know what to do. Have an awesome, amazing day. Peace, love, and as always, truth. Hey, thanks for listening to Doing Divorce Right. Don't forget, if you love the show, subscribe, rate, and review anywhere you get your episodes. And grab my books, One Happy Divorce and Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda on Amazon, Target.com, or my website, JenniferHurwitz.com. As usual, thanks for listening. And we'll see you next week. Peace, love, and truth.